As you may or may not have heard by now, Tron ARES actually got a release date yesterday. So in this Variety article, we can actually see that Disney slated a bunch of movies going all the way up to 2026. And of course, Tron ARES was also featured in the article, and as it says here, they're aiming for an October 10th, 2025 release date. Honestly, I think that this is a good date. Tron Legacy took about 3 months to film, and they've been filming Tron ARES since January. Tron ARES will probably take around the same amount of time. That's just an estimate, don't quote me on that. And I think that's a good amount of time for all those CGI shots. I mention that a lot because CGI is very important to the world of Tron, so CGI and visual effects need to look good. We gotta remember, not all of this film takes place in the grid, so not everything will be CGI. There's a lot of practical sets that we've seen in behind the scenes shots, so post-production will not take as long as it did in Tron Legacy most likely. But hey, that's just a theory. The article also stated that if there are no delays on Tron ARES and it stays on that October 10th release date, it will be facing off against the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. All I know is I'm going to be losing quite a bit of money that weekend, as I love both of those franchises, but Tron ARES is still staying a priority, so I'm excited to see how both of them do, and I hope that they're both very successful together. As much as I love both franchises, I hope that Avatar's release date is moved around a little bit, and thankfully its release date isn't as concrete as Tron ARES. As much as it sucks to admit it, Avatar is a much more popular franchise than Tron, and I want Tron ARES to have its own time to shine. Now, I'm not saying it's going to do bad in the box office. I have a lot of faith in this movie. I'm just worried that Avatar will overshadow the film. Later, after this was all announced by Disney, the director of Tron ARES, Joachim Ronning, actually posted a teaser poster for Tron ARES. As you can see, it kind of continues that red theming on the poster in the background and on the text, as we've seen before. One pretty clever thing I thought about this poster is that instead of having just the date written or 10/10 for October 10th, they actually just wrote it in ones and zeros like binary code. I thought that was a really cool detail. I feel like it's almost every week now that we're getting Tron ARES news, and actually if you haven't kept up with my Twitter, we also got a couple new set photos. The first photo looks like it could be maybe a recognizer with the cockpit kind of opening, and maybe it's in the lowered position like we saw in Tron Legacy before. We gotta remember, there are new versions of vehicles that we've seen before in this film, because when we saw the NCOM poster and the interior of the NCOM set photo, we did see a new recognizer on that poster, so it's possible. And then in this photo, we can actually see the same object with the door closed. So I think it is a vehicle because in the closed position, you can actually see a program inside. And then in the next photo, we can actually see a photo of that program. I'm not too sure who this program could be. My only theory is that maybe it's a follower of ARES, possibly. We also have this photo of Greta Lee's stunt double just surrounded by a bunch of red lights. Not too sure what that could be, but just worth noting. Right as I was just about to upload this video, we got even more set photos. Now these new set photos are from the same night shoot that the previous ones were from. However, the new ones actually show possible plot details. So in this new photo, we actually see Greta Lee's character again surrounded by those same red lights, but this time she's actually on the ground surrounded by rubble. And we also see that same red program, who I personally believe to be a follower of ARES, as I said earlier, but they are looking down at Greta Lee's character. So maybe they caused this, who knows? I also think this set photo might be taking place where NCOM got a little bit destroyed. In past set photo, we saw a lot of rubble around the building and a bunch of emergency vehicles pulled up to the building. On top of all these photos, we actually got a set video as well from the same scene. This comes from an unknown source. Check it out. Either way, I'm really excited to see what happens with this scene. To end off this video, I also think that we could expect some Tron ARES news this Thursday. This upcoming week, CinemaCon is back, and Walt Disney Studios is hosting a panel on Thursday, along with a lot of the other big studios in Hollywood. And based on how we already just got a release date for Tron ARES, and it's a lot sooner than the other movies slated, I think that we can definitely expect just a little bit of news for Tron ARES. With that said, please consider subscribing to the Daily Dose of Tron YouTube channel so you never miss a Tron ARES update or anything else Tron related. All in all, a decent update in the Tron fandom. We got a release date for Tron ARES, we got some new set photos. I am still a little bit nervous about Tron ARES competing with Avatar. Even if it doesn't move, I think it still should be pretty successful, but I just want Tron ARES to have its own time to shine. Anyways, that's it for today, programs. End of line.